The principles of picking green and gold are similar. Both varieties need to be handled carefully to prevent physical damage from occurring. Although the kiwi fruit feel hard at harvest, the skin and flesh can be easily damaged. All pickers need to make sure they have short fingernails and are not wearing jewellery that may cause fruit damage. To protect the fruit, all pickers must wear gloves. They are usually made of soft cotton that can be easily washed.
Your bag's too low, can't reach the bottom.
There are a variety of picking bags used during harvesting. The bag shown is the most commonly used. When fitting the apron, it's important it is adjusted correctly and is comfortable. The straps must not be twisted and should fit snugly across the back.
The shoulders. That is far too low.
Check the catches work well, as they will need to be opened each time the bag is emptied. We will demonstrate the best practice methods for picking green fruit and then go over additional requirements that specifically relate to picking gold fruit. Experienced pickers can pick green fruit very quickly, but it's important that it is done without damaging the fruit or dropping the fruit from any height into the bag. The fruit needs to be snapped from the fruit stalk, making sure the entire stalk is removed. If the whole stalk is not removed when picked, it can end up damaging other fruit once it's in the bin. Here we are demonstrating how fruit should be picked. Snapping fruit away from the stalk and keeping the fingers between the fruit. The fruit is placed carefully in the bag, making sure it's not let go until the hands are at least at the top of the rim of the bag. When picking fruit, stalks, leaves and other debris can fall into the bag. This needs to be removed to prevent it from damaging fruit. Sometimes fruit stalks will not snap off cleanly. These must be removed or they can damage other fruit if they hit into the side of the fruit during processing. This type of physical damage on green fruit results in fruit being rejected once in storage, as rot and physical damage become very obvious, as shown in this fruit, which was in storage for 3 months. Picking should continue until the fruit is level with the top of the bag. This picker is overfilling the bag, putting strain on his back and causing fruit to fall on the ground. When this happens, each fruit will be damaged from the fall and potentially be contaminated with soil, which may be a quarantine risk for export. Any fruit that falls to the ground must be left on the ground. Any fruit dropped more than 30 centimeters in height will be damaged by bruising. These fruit have been bruised through poor handling during picking. With the skin on, it's sometimes difficult to see the damage until the fruit starts to ripen. However, if we remove the skin, the damage caused is obvious. To empty the picking bag, the picker needs to carefully lift the bag over the edge of the bin, placing the bottom of the bag as close to the bottom of the bin as possible. The straps are then released and fruit slowly removed from the bag. As the bag is lifted into the bin, it's important that the base of the bag doesn't bang against the side of the bin. The picking bins must not be overloaded. There should always be someone responsible for monitoring the bin level and spreading the fruit evenly across the bin. As a bay is picked, it's important for each picker to check the area around them, making sure all of the fruit is picked and none are left behind in the canopy. Putting all of these elements together, an experienced picker is able to work quickly to pick fruit and maintain the fruit quality required by the export customers. When picking, gold fruit is more prone to skin damage. As there is less hair on the skin, they are often softer at harvest and have sharp beaks on the end of the fruit, which can damage neighbouring fruit in the bin. The beaks on the fruit are very sharp and can easily damage other fruit if they come into contact. Puncture marks, such as shown here, will eventually cause the fruit to soften and rot, making it unsaleable for the grower. Care needs to be taken throughout the picking process to minimize this type of damage. Any physical damage in gold fruit will usually result in the fruit turning into a rot in storage. As illustrated, the rots develop around the area of the physical damage. These fruit are no longer able to be sold and will produce increased levels of ethylene, the natural ripening gas, which will ripen the fruit in the surrounding trays. The skin is prone to scuffing, as shown here. These scuffs can be easily caused by the fruit contacting other fruit, the cane, or any hard object like fingernails. Care needs to be taken at all times to minimize this type of damage. Picking gold can be much slower than picking green.
Beaks are not pointing at each other.
Each piece of fruit must be carefully picked from the vine, making sure the beaks aren't pointing at each other. As the fruit is picked, it's lifted up and away from the cane and adjoining fruit stalks to prevent any fruit damage from occurring.
Beaks are not touching.
It's recommended that fruit is picked 2 at a time, making sure the beaks are kept apart. The fruit is carefully lowered into the bag with the hand beneath the fruit. As the hand is removed, the fruit is left in the bag lying with the beaks in a horizontal position. This prevents the beaks from damaging neighbouring fruit. The picking bag is carefully emptied into the bin. As the fruit is more prone to damage than green, this bag must be slowly emptied without the fruit rolling too quickly from the bag. The picker leans forward into the bin, making sure the bottom of the bag doesn't hit the side of the bin. The fruit is slowly released from the bag, making sure it flows smoothly into the bin. If gold fruit rolls in the bin, it can cause damage to other fruit. To overcome this, it's recommended that each bag be emptied into the lowest part of the bin, which will minimize fruit rolling within the bin. Here, we demonstrate how each picker selects the lowest area of the bin to empty their bag into. After rain, it's been found that gold fruit is very susceptible to damage as a result of the high water levels in the fruit. It's recommended that, where possible, fruit shouldn't be harvested within 24 hours of rainfall to allow the volume of water in the fruit to decrease. This reduces the potential for physical damage to occur. Heavy dew overnight can have a similar effect on fruit condition. Often harvesting is delayed until after 10 a.m. or when the dew has gone from the orchard block. Well-trained pickers are able to quickly develop the technique to pick gold fruit relatively quickly without damaging the fruit when placing it into the picking bag. Working in the orchard during the picking season is an enjoyable part of the season, offering picking staff a good income as they work on a range of orchards and places over the 6 to 10 week harvest season. In summary, fruit is easily damaged, so care needs to be taken at all times with green and gold. All pickers need to be trained in the picking techniques for both varieties. Always wear gloves when picking and minimize potential fruit damage through careful handling. Avoid picking gold after rainfall or in slow drying conditions.